30 women, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of eyes watching every single move they make. What do they know that everyone else doesn't? Stay until the end, because number 1 will completely change how you think about success. This is not about beauty. It never was. The 30 most famous models in the world didn't just get lucky. Every single one of them built something deliberate, a strategy, a brand, a moment that the world couldn't ignore. Today, we break it all down. Fast, direct, no filler. Let's go. Kendall Jenner. She turned a reality TV audience of 40 million people into a front row seat at every major fashion house on earth. The Kardashian platform gave her the launch, but Kendall built the empire herself. Over 280 million Instagram followers. Chanel, Versace, Givenchy, La Perla. She is not famous because of her family. She is famous because she refused to let that be the only reason. Bella Hadid. 35 international Vogue covers. Named Model of the Year by the British Fashion Council twice. Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. Her dark, sculptural, almost otherworldly aesthetic didn't just fit high fashion. It redefined what high fashion could look like. Bella didn't follow beauty trends. She became one. Gigi Hadid. She made high fashion feel human. Over 50 international Vogue appearances. A luxury knitwear brand called Guest in Residence. A mother, and still dominating the runways of Paris and Milan. Named International Model of the Year by the British Fashion Council in 2016. Gigi built something rare. Commercial power and high fashion credibility at the exact same time. Gisele Bündchen. For over a decade, she was the highest paid model on the entire planet. Then she became a businesswoman, an environmentalist, a global brand in her own right. Gisele understood something most models never figure out, that the most powerful move is building something that outlasts the runway. She didn't retire. She evolved. Cara Delevingne. She showed up with thick eyebrows, raw attitude, and zero interest in playing by the rules. And fashion fell completely in love with her for it. Cara turned her personality into a signature. Her rebellious image didn't threaten the industry, it refreshed it. And brands paid her millions to carry that energy into their campaigns. Hadid Akech. From a refugee camp in Kenya to the Saint Laurent runway at just 18 years old, Hadid didn't just make it, she made it completely undeniable. She became the face of one of the most powerful fashion houses in the world before most people her age had their first job. Her story gave the industry a conscience. Her walk gave it chills. Anak Yai. One photograph, posted on Instagram in 2017 during Harvard's homecoming. Within months, the entire fashion world was calling. By 2018, she was opening the Prada show, one of the most coveted spots in global fashion. Anak Yai proved that in the modern era, the entire world is a casting director. Kaya Gerber, Cindy Crawford's daughter, stepped onto the runway and immediately made it clear she wasn't there to coast on her mother's legacy. Kaya built runway credibility that stands entirely on its own. Celine, Burberry, Alexander Wang. She didn't inherit a career. She earned one. Irina Shayk. The camera has never once looked away from Irina Shayk. High-profile relationships kept her in every headline. High fashion kept her on every runway. Versace, Givenchy, Burberry. The combination of cultural visibility and editorial precision made her one of the most consistently booked models of the last 15 years. Hailey Bieber. She used celebrity exposure as a platform, not a destination. Rhode, her beauty brand, crossed $100 million in revenue within its first year. Hailey understood something the new generation of models has mastered. The runway is just the beginning. The real business happens after. Emily Ratajkowski. Bold image. Outspoken views. Constant public conversation. Emily understood that attention, even controversial attention, is a currency. She used it to build a swimwear brand, write a best-selling book, and stay relevant in a media cycle that burns through faces every 6 months. Winnie Harlow. She has vitiligo. The industry told her that was a problem. She turned it into the most recognizable and powerful signature in modern modeling. Winnie Harlow didn't just break into fashion, she forced fashion to expand its definition of beauty permanently. Paloma Elsesser. Luxury fashion spent decades pretending that only one body type existed. Paloma Elsesser walked into Versace, Fendi, and Valentino and quietly proved that wrong. She didn't ask the industry to change. She showed up and changed it. Ashley Graham. She put plus-size modeling on the cover of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, and the world paid attention. Ashley made body diversity commercially powerful, not just morally right. She gave an entire generation of women permission to exist in spaces that had previously excluded them. Liu Wen. the first East Asian model to walk the Victoria's Secret fashion show, the first East Asian model to appear on the Forbes highest-paid models list. Liu Wen broke a barrier that had stood for decades, and she did it with a presence on the runway that no one in the industry could deny. Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, Burberry, Victoria's Secret, Hollywood film career, a beauty empire built with precision and patience. Rosie understood that a luxury image is worth protecting, and that building a brand slowly is often how you build it permanently. Karlie Kloss, 6-foot legs and a computer science degree. Karlie launched Code with Klossy, a coding education program for young women, while walking for Versace and Alexander McQueen. She expanded what a model was allowed to be, and the industry respected her more for it. Joan Smalls. Year after year, season after season, Joan Smalls remained one of the most trusted faces in high fashion. Designers didn't just book her, they relied on her. Consistency at the highest level of fashion is rarer than any viral moment. Joan made it look routine. Candace Swanepoel, Victoria's Secret made her a global icon. Her face and her figure became synonymous with one of the most powerful fashion brands of the 2000s. Candace built a legacy inside an institution, and that institutional power translated into a worldwide following that has never faded. Adriana Lima, she walked the Victoria's Secret runway for 20 years. 20 years. No model in history matched her combination of longevity, presence, and commercial dominance within a single brand. Adriana Lima is not just a model, she is a landmark. Naomi Campbell, the first black model on the cover of French Vogue, one of the original supermodels. 3 decades of front rows, runways, and cultural authority. Naomi Campbell is not a chapter in fashion history. She is the entire book. Tyra Banks, she turned a modeling career into a media empire, America's next top model. Talk shows, business ventures. Tyra saw the camera not just as something to look into, but as something to control. She became the industry itself. Elsa Hosk. Her social media aesthetic is so carefully curated, so consistently aspirational, that brands don't just hire her for her look, they hire her for her audience. Elsa Hosk turned her personal brand into a direct line to millions of highly engaged consumers. Romee Stride. She brought her audience inside her life, her routines, her relationships, her reality. In an industry built on unattainable images, Romee made herself feel reachable. And that connection is worth more to modern brands than any magazine cover. Amelia Gray. Celebrity background, high fashion credibility. The combination is rare and extremely valuable. Amelia Gray didn't need the industry to discover her. She walked in already known and proved she belonged entirely on her own terms. Kylie Jenner. Her social media reach turned into a beauty empire worth over $1 billion. Kylie didn't need fashion to validate her. She built an industry inside an industry, and fashion eventually came to her. Jill Kortlev. She walked for Chanel, for Valentino, for the biggest stages in the world, and she did it in a body that luxury fashion had long ignored. Jill Kortlev normalized something that should never have been controversial, that fashion belongs to everyone. Mona Tugard. Unique features, magnetic runway energy, an instinctive understanding of the camera. Mona emerged from the new generation of models as one of the faces that designers keep coming back to, because she doesn't look like anyone else. Nyajuak Gadet, a visual identity so strong, so specific, that she fits the cutting edge of fashion perfectly. In an era where distinctiveness is everything, Nyajuak's presence on a runway is impossible to ignore. Yar Aguirre. Modern editorial fashion demands faces that carry a story without saying a word. Yar Aguirre has that, a look that is simultaneously striking, unconventional, and completely unforgettable. 30 women, 30 different strategies, but one thing they all share. They understood that talent gets you in the room, but identity keeps you in the game. If this video gave you something, you already know what to do. Subscribe and watch the next one.